from the station working for you. This is RTV6 News at 6.
We're following two big stories tonight at 6. This woman is in custody, accused of shooting and killing her own grandmother. What police are saying about what drove her to do it. But we begin tonight with breaking news. Hundreds of IPS high school teachers will be forced to apply to keep their jobs next school year. And that comes after this week's school board vote to close 3 high schools. Call 6 Chief Investigator Rafael Sanchez first broke the story at 5 o'clock. He joins us live with new details on this developing story. Rafael?
Erica, for some of the high school teachers, this plan is as popular as running your fingernails on a chalkboard. So now at 6, let me spell it out for you. More than 300 IPS high school teachers, they will have to reapply for their jobs. Some IPS high school teachers will have to reapply to keep their current jobs, even if their high school building is not among those closing. The district says it's giving teachers a choice to determine the new school that will fit their skills and interests.
We're reimagining the 4 high schools to be completely new buildings with new leaders and new leadership teams and new academies and curriculum. We want to get as much information as we can to teachers on those 4 buildings.
Some may find it offensive. They're veteran teachers. They've been on the, you know them. I mean, these are teachers that are on. So why this process?
Right. I think it's a hard process for all of us. I mean, the district is going through massive change, reinventing these 4 high schools. So there's a lot of change happening, and what we're trying to do is to communicate as much as possible.
The teachers union had this to say about their members reapplying for their jobs.
Well, I respond that the teachers are feeling hurt right now. They're feeling not respected. They've been teaching, some of them have been teaching for 20 or 30 years, and now you're telling them they got to reapply for their job. So, I mean, how would they feel? They don't feel, they're not happy right now.
So tonight, 300 teachers impacted, more than 300. About 150 high school positions are exempt from having to reapply. And there they are on your screens. These are the categories. Those teachers with the International Baccalaureate program are exempted, as are special education teachers with the Arches and Life program. Broad Ripple art teachers also exempted, as are the teachers with the Career Technical Education program. And just minutes ago, finding out more about the timeline, Erica, they're hoping to have all the core subject teachers reassigned to their new jobs by the end of December. I'm talking about the math and science and English teachers will know what high schools they will be by the end of December. They hope to have this entire process all wrapped up by March. The folks here at the union are not very happy with this. We'll have more reaction to this coming up tonight on the news at 7. Now back to you.
Rafael, thank you. Our other big story tonight. This woman, 22-year-old Casey Anderson, is now in custody, accused of killing her own grandmother. Police say a woman in her 60s was found shot this afternoon in an apartment on East 21st Street near the intersection with North Arlington. RTV6's Katie Hines is live at the scene with the latest developments. Katie?
Erica, we're just learning tonight that suspect, Casey Anderson, had been wanted for allegedly opening fire on her mother just a half hour before she allegedly came here to this apartment complex and shot and killed her grandmother. Now, her mother was not hit, we're told, from police sources. Police had just started searching for Anderson when they were called to this building near 21st and Arlington around noon. Here they found a woman, Anderson's grandmother in her 60s, shot inside of her own apartment. Police are not releasing the name of the grandma until all family members have been notified, but one of her nephews tells us he is in disbelief tonight.
She always raised us like she was our mother, and she always cared for every one of us, and she always left her door open for any one of us if we needed somewhere to stay. And for her granddaughter to do something like this, they had a beautiful relationship, and I just can't believe that my cousin would do something like this to her grandmother.
Police arrested 22-year-old Casey Anderson about 3:30 this afternoon, a distance away near 56th and Post Road in her car. You can see from the video her car, that silver one, is trapped by a black Metro Police squad car. No injuries, though, reported tonight. And an interesting detail learned by Call 6 Investigates here in the last hour. The gun allegedly used in this shooting here today was bought just a few days ago at an Indianapolis gun store. If you have any information, call Crime Stop numbers. That number is 262-TIPS. Reporting live tonight, Katie Hines, RTV6.
We're following a developing story tonight. For the second time in 3 days, an IUPUI student is hit by a vehicle on campus. It happened at Michigan and Blake this afternoon. The student stepped off an Indigo bus, walked in front of the bus, and was then hit by an oncoming car. The student was reportedly alert when taken to Eskenazi by ambulance. It's not clear how bad the student's injuries are. However, they are not believed to be life-threatening. This happened 1 block north, where another IUPUI student was hit and killed on Monday. New tonight, prosecutors are now seeking the death penalty against the man they say broke into a Lebanon home and attacked the elderly couple who lived there, killing one of them. Almost 24 criminal charges were filed against 19-year-old Zachariah Wright today. Investigators say he broke into Max and Sonia Foster's home back in June, stabbing and killing Max and trying to set Sonia on fire. Investigators say the Fosters were targeted randomly. RTV6 is working for you tonight, digging for answers after residents in Morgan County say they've been stuck living next to a disgusting collection of trash for weeks. As RTV6's Chance Walser reports, they have gotten few answers so far.
True to its sign, the Mooresville Mobile Home Park is filling up. Of course, management is not referring to the trash dumpsters, but some of the residents are.
I'm getting sick and tired of living like trashy people.
They'll pile up so much where it'll be on top of the dumpster. They'll pile it around the dumpster. They'll pile it all the way out in the middle of the street.
Jeff Davis is just about to drive his trash to the front of the complex where a chain link fence surrounds a large gray trash compactor. Recently, that compactor broke, which has led to this mess. It looks and smells like a small landfill.
We had roaches show up. We've had rats show up. I've had people tell me that they've seen maggots over in the dump. And my concern is when it does get cleaned up, where do you think the rodents are going to go to? An $11 fee for trash service, and this is what you get.
Illegal dumping from outside this community has also been an issue.
Dump out entire truckloads of stuff and then drive off.
Melissa Lane says her kids have not been able to play at the adjacent playground all summer due to the stench.
The compactor's always not working. There's always a horrible smell that literally just permeates the entire playground.
Management would not comment on how long the compactor has been broken or how long it will take to fix. Today, though, a welcomed sight as workers show up to get rid of the unsightly.
They'll clean it up when people get mad enough, and then they let it just pile up again.
The loaders make quick work of the trash bags and junk, but skepticism about long-term change is not so easily removed. Chance Walser, RTV6.
Turning to the weather now, a great day to play 9 or a full 18 holes at the Brickyard Golf Course. But if you're outside this week, you're going to need to keep that water handy. Storm Team 6 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory has all the details.
It's weird to stay hydrated in September, isn't it? But you've got to do it as temperatures are very summer-like. 92, that's a current reading in Beech Grove, 90 in Lebanon, also in Franklin. It's all about the temperatures because unlike the last couple of days, we do not have any scattered showers or downpours, and I do expect a dry evening. Once you get to Terre Haute and west, temperatures just go up. I can point to St. Louis and tell you it's 3 degrees cooler this hour than last. The core of this warmth continues to move to the east, and that's why we'll see very little change around here. Just to confirm what I told you, not expecting any rain this evening, really dry for the next 6 days. What's ahead for the next 6 or 7 hours? Slowly dropping temperatures and patchy fog developing again as we get through the overnight.
A 9-year-old girl credited with saving her mother's life.
She mostly tells me that every single day.
She tells you what?
That I'm her hero.
How she and Dad helped save Mom after a devastating crash, and the award she'll now receive from the Girl Scouts of America. You're watching RTV6 News at 6.
From the station working for you, this is RTV6 News at 6.
I'm Beth Bond of the Live Desk, checking in on what's making headlines across the Hoosier State. Almost 30 members of Indiana's Task Force 1 are now packing up to head to Puerto Rico to help with recovery efforts from Hurricane Maria. More than 80 people are part of the team, but only a smaller team was requested by FEMA to help respond. We're told members will fly to Puerto Rico on Thursday and Friday. They'll bring food, water, and search and rescue equipment. And Call 6 Investigates confirms President Trump's visit to Indiana next week will bring him to Indianapolis. This would mark the first time President Trump visited Indy since shortly after he was elected. While the state Republican Party announced yesterday the president will visit, specifics have not been formally released. And a popular ice cream shop is now set to reopen in Bloomington. The Chocolate Mousse set to open its doors on Sunday at 3 p.m. at its new location on Walnut Street. You can see its new location right here. Now, its owners were forced to close down the old location last year. It was torn down to make room for a new building. We're told the Chocolate Mousse will have all of its old flavors, plus some new ones. And unlike its last location, this one will be open year-round. That's the latest from the Live Desk.
I'm really proud. I stayed strong and brave.
She sure did. This 9-year-old is sharing how she helped her mother get to safety after their SUV flipped 6 times and crashed in a rural field. RTV6's Derek Thomas reports because of her heroism, that brave, smart little girl will be awarded the Girl Scout Medal of Honor.
The SUV came to a rest in this field. 9-year-old Melina Lakey did not panic. She used her training to help her mother. The SUV slid off the road near 1100 South and 50 West, clipped a drainage ditch, and tumbled into the field. This is what the vehicle looked like after the crash. It was pulverized, and Ashley McCollum Lakey was inverted, bloody, and dazed when her daughter sprang into action.
She was like in a really hurt condition because her seatbelt, she was upside down in her seatbelt.
And then what'd you do?
My dad got her unbuckled, and I pulled down the airbag so she could get out, and I told her which way to go.
She lifted the airbag and said, "Mommy, here I am, come to me." And so with us being upside down, I crawled on the roof of the car and got to her. Once I had her in my arms, I literally collapsed into the yard, and every bit of pain hit me, but I had her, and we were both okay.
After locating her mother's phone in the car, Melina also placed the 911 call.
There was blood all over my phone, but she never lost her cool, and even I was taken aback with the blood on the phone.
Melina and Girl Scout Troop 3597 had just undergone training with the Alexandria Fire Department, and she has accumulated badges on her sash for a number of disciplines. She was prepared for that moment, and her mother told her so.
She mostly tells me that every single day.
She tells you what?
That I'm her hero.
And what is your response?
That you're mine, too.
For her heroics, Melina will receive the Girl Scouts Medal of Honor. Derek Thomas, RTV6.
Calm, cool, and collected at 9 years old in that kind of situation, she deserves that award.
Yeah, it just makes you say, wow.
Yeah.
And you never know how adults would react in that situation. To
Exactly.
see her do that is pretty amazing. Well, whenever there's a need, Hoosiers are always usually there to help out, and this is down in Puerto Rico, and Michael Pruitt, Wayne Township Fire Department Public Information Officer, was there as Maria came on shore last night in a safe, secure location, ready to help out FEMA as recovery will get started here within the short order, 24 hours or so, as the winds die down and people can get out and start to assess the immediate needs. Different story in central Indiana. Mixture of clouds and sunshine today. These clouds that you see, now you see them, tonight you won't. They'll fade away once we get closer to sunset at 7:45. These melt away and set the stage for some fog to develop once again. It's all about the temperatures, and an 8-degree temperature range from eastern Indiana into the western portion of the state. That's the way it'll be one more day, and then I think the warmth will be all over the Hoosier state. As I mentioned, we're on cruise control. We're in a holding pattern. Not much is changing for a little while. Kyle has more on that story.
Yeah, and Kevin, today we topped out at 89 degrees. Might be thinking, hey, close to a record. Well, we're close to it, but not quite there. 94, the record high temperature, but both a far cry above the average there of 76 degrees. So summer is holding on here the next several days. Our average high there at 76. We'll find numbers a lot closer to the 90-degree mark, and that's going to take us all the way through the upcoming weekend. When will we start to feel a little more fall-like here once again? Well, it's not until the middle and end of next week. That's when a storm system will come through with a chance for some rain. But the end of this week, a much different story, Kevin.
Last surge of summer right into fall. Temperatures tomorrow morning with some patchy fog. They're in the 70s quickly, 83 at noon, and then afternoon highs competitive with today. No real change there. And we do the same again as we get to Friday, Saturday, Sunday. As Kyle mentioned, some of the warmest temperatures will be in southwest Indiana. Terre Haute hit 92 today, likely to be just that warm as we get to tomorrow. Temperatures Friday pushing 90 once again, setting the stage for a warm Friday night. These are the Friday highs around central Indiana. Temperatures for kickoff on Friday night, 83. So you can bet the coaches will be hammering those players, drink plenty of fluids, and they'll be practicing in this so they'll get used to what it's going to feel like. As you go into the weekend, temperatures upper 80s both days. As you look at the big game up at Ross-Ade Stadium, 4 o'clock at Purdue, Michigan. 86 degrees as you're tailgating, 88 for the kickoff, and I can tell you down in Bloomington against Georgia Southern, the 3:30 kickoff there, temperatures will be in the upper 80s as well. As Kyle mentioned, next Wednesday, that could be the day where we get some thunderstorms once again and begin to transition to cooler temperatures for the end of next week.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. Dave's here with a look at sports.
Hi, guys. Yep, thanks. Hey, yeah, I know it's Wednesday. You know that. So guess what that means up at the Northwest side? Yep, Colts back at it. Today you saw Jacoby Brissett already named the starter for Sunday's game against the Browns. And, yes, the Colts are still the underdog at home on Sunday. We'll hear from the fellas tonight on the news at 11 o'clock. Good evening. It's been hard to miss on the RTV6 Facebook page or the IndyChannel.com. The emotional plea post-game by Warren Central football coach Jason West and Ben Davis coach Mike Kirshner. 5 days later, please, no regrets, with a message delivered in tonight's Sports Extra Spotlight.
It's week 5, and Ben Davis has a rather impressive win over crosstown rival Warren Central, 45-16. But after the game, the score becomes rather insignificant when the head coaches gathered both teams, with BD head coach Mike Kirshner delivering a message.
If we don't take care of each other and love each other, then nothing else really matters. This is just a game.
Last summer, Warren Central's Dejon Anderson was killed in a West Side shooting. In a separate incident, Ben Davis Jr. Rondell Allen barely survived being shot 6 times himself.
The message you had Friday night, have you been waiting to deliver that one a little bit?
Yeah, honestly, for a long time. As society change, cultures change, the way people look at things change, and you watch the news and you see this young man got killed or this person got shot, and you see the violence, and it just kind of builds up.
I need your attention. Yes, sir.
The message continues.
I coached at Warren from 1996. There's no hatred here, fellas. There's just somebody that wants to coach football and loves competing against him. So we're coming together tonight because we're going to pray. In a public institution, we're going to pray for the safety of people because that's the right thing to do. So bow your heads.
A prayer that begs for guidance.
And make us understand what it takes to be a good person, a good husband, a good father. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.
And me and Coach West had talked about it over the summer, and then again before we played the week going into the Warren game, that, you know, we both have just kind of had enough. You know, it's time for us to take our kids and hold on to them tight.
See the ball and the cue. See it.
And that's the goal moving forward. Practice has resumed as it has for weeks now. Ben Davis wears helmet stickers representing both players shot in the offseason. It's a close-knit group.
They're very close. And they're very close to Rondell. They're very close as a team. They have been since they were little kids.
And while that'll never change,
you lost a great player and a great friend.
Seems like Friday, they hope, gets all sides a little closer. And that's a win for everyone.
Great job tonight. Let's get a breakdown. Much respect.
I'm going to say it. I listened to Ray Lewis talk last winter at a conference, Hall of Fame Ray Lewis from the Baltimore Ravens, and he said, you know what, parents, it's okay to tell your kids no. No, you're not going out. No, you don't get to run around with these kids. You're going to stay home, and that's just okay.
Family on 3. 1, 2, 3. Family!
Family and football there with the message. The Giants are the top-ranked team still in Class 6A. Their season continues Friday when they travel to Lawrence North. 8th-ranked Warren Central hosts Pike Friday. The news at 6 rolls on after this. It's
a surprise in northern Hancock County that smiled right back. Conservation officers were called to the brand new Rhine Creek Monday night amid reports of an alligator there. Officers did not find an alligator, but they did find this 3-foot-long crocodile. It was captured safely, and it will be kept in a secure facility until a suitable home can be found. You are allowed to legally have crocodiles and alligators as pets in Indiana. However, if they're more than 5 feet long, they require a permit.
So everybody's Googling right now difference between alligator and crocodile.
And what did we find out?
I think it has something to, it's all in the snout.
Got it.
And where is a proper home for a crocodile, really, when you think about it?
Nowhere near me.
Australia.
That's right.
Temperatures over the next several days all around 90 degrees. Temperatures tomorrow, they'll start with some patchy fog and hit about 89. The records the next several days, 92 to about 96.
Wow. Thank you for making RTV 6 your choice for news. Join us at 7.
Closed captioning is sponsored